Welcome back to the Hoops Temple podcast. Y'all know me, Nathan Schwartz, and joining me is a wonderful guest, Char, aka Milk Lover on TikTok, representing the Toronto Raptors, here to tell us why the Raptors are actually going to dethrone the Boston Celtics and win the 2025 NBA championship. Char, how are you doing?
Very true. I'm great. I'm so great. I agree with that last statement. I think truly and honestly, the Celtics are overrated. They have not seen the wrath of RJ Barrett and Scotty Barnes yet, so it's fine. They have
Really putting together a true Team Canada.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that. Honestly, we need Edie. Memphis stole him.
Yeah, Memphis isn't going to give him back. They're very excited about Steven Adams 2.0.
I know. But you know what? Good for them. Honestly, they need someone like that. That was like the missing piece in the whole puzzle.
Yeah, it's a good landing spot for him. I thought it was a bit high of a pick for him. I was kind of thinking late first, but you know, if he's the guy they really want, go get your guy.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised by that too. Sorry, my headphones. I was pretty surprised by that too, honestly, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, he's projected to go like what 27th?" That was like the most popular one that I saw. And what was he, 9th?
Yeah, like 9th or 10th.
I think it was 9th.
It was lottery. He
was top 10.
It was mid lottery. It was a pick normally reserved for try to make a knockout swing, but if that's what they think Edie can be, then hey, Canada's going to have a true good Olympic team in the next year or 2028.
So excited.
All right. Well, let's focus in on the Raptors here. What is going to make this a successful Raptors season for you? Is it bottoming out? Is it player development? The BetMGM line for them, and not that I condone sports betting, but just to kind of give reference, has them at 30.5 wins. What are you thinking here? What are you looking for this to be a successful Raptors season?
Bold of you to bring up sports betting with the Toronto Raptors, but
is sports betting legal in Canada yet? Is that still a thing?
It's legal. It's just that the Raptors have quite the history with sports betting. But when it comes to them, the thing is I trust Masai Ujiri with the whole like rebuild situation. I trust it.
Okay.
The thing is, I don't want them to bottom out. I don't want that kind of situation. I would rather them play to their heart's content. I would rather see more player development. They need to kind of get used to each other in a competitive environment. And right now we're seeing players like RJ Barrett and Quickly come in, and they like instantly improved right when they got to the team. Mm-hmm. Like pretty much, wow, this is a great fit. And that's why I kind of see them like, I would hope for them to kind of go like mid. Like, I don't want them to kind of bottom out for picks. I really don't think that the addition of more rookies is really going to do much. I know that there's picks for like trade value and such, but I don't think that's really needed. The Raptors consistently do this thing where they will develop like really like not well-known players and players that a lot of people didn't think were going to do well, and then make them into something great and then trade them away. So I kind of don't want them to keep doing that, because truly and honestly, when it came to like the Kawhi trade, we had a really solid team going forward, even without Kawhi. It's just a thing that I don't think that like we should be constantly doing this thing, trying to get picks, trying to get rookies, developing really good, and then just sending them off somewhere else for, other developing
trying to get
players.
the next star.
Yeah, like I don't really.
So that's interesting, because I consider myself a fake Raptors fan. Listen, I came into sports as a Lakers fan. It was foisted upon me. Lakers fandom is it's it's great because you win, but other Lakers fans are tough to deal with, and like Raptors fans are like a jolly good bunch. And like I'm old enough at this point that I was able to watch T Mac and Vince on the Raptors together, and so that's what did it for me. Is they were very fun to watch together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I guess I still have a bit of that Lakers mindset of I want this team to compete. I want this team to like, if we're not going to be for championships, what are we doing? And so if we're not going to be good, we should be really bad. And so when we traded away OG and Pascal, my thought was, let's get a bunch of picks. Let's not get these kind of mid tier guys and just be stuck in the treadmill of mediocrity. But it sounds like you're a little bit more okay with that because you trust the Raptors' internal development. Um, is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, pretty much. Like the players that we got for Siakam and Anunoby, in a sense, like Siakam, I didn't understand that whole situation. I
Mm-hmm.
truly and honestly feel like, sorry, if you can hear my cat, he's old and he likes to scream. Um,
It's
it's
okay. My cat Giannis graces half of these podcasts before the end of it.
Giannis.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
you guys
so
sleeping over there.
oh my gosh, mine's sleeping right behind me.
Aww.
Um, so when it comes to it, it's like with the Siakam trade, I didn't really understand much of like what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were gonna get a lot more value out of him. It kind of scared me a little bit. With Anunoby, I felt like we won that trade in a sense because come here, bud, come say hi. Because when it comes to like RJ and Quickly, I don't watch the Knicks often, but when I was watching them, I immediately saw them as being really good players. I see them actually doing really, really well in the future. And just having them with us, like that was great. Like, yeah, they get like a really good defensive player in Anunoby, but like
Mm-hmm.
that's one dude. We got two that are like developing and young and they're cool and they're like one of them's from here, so like it works better. Like I don't know, like I feel like when it comes to us, we need to focus on developing those guys and developing the young core that we have right now rather than, trying to get more young players and trying to do this whole situation, you know what I'm saying?
Trying to be the next OKC. I'm just saying
Yeah.
though that's worked out fairly well for the Thunder. They've got been some guys. I would not hate it if the Raptors could bottom out this year and add Cooper Flag. Just a versatile
That
big would be really nice, right?
I if you know me, all I've been saying for like the past 2 years, I want a center so bad. I know we have Jakob Pertl. I totally get it. But the
And
thing is
Kelly
with
Olynyk.
Kelly Olynyk is here's what I mean by center. Controversial take. I
Someone
love
who's
when a
good.
center. No. Come on, you saw him in the Olympics. He was
Oh, I love Kelly.
balling.
Listen,
Like
I thought I was arguing for Kelly to OKC the entire past season because I thought he would fit their whole scheme. But I get what you mean. You want someone who's big, who can handle the paint. You're a Jonas Valanciunas girl. I've seen the TikToks.
yes, and that's the thing. When it comes to Jakob Pertl, I don't see him as a guy who's like starting five. Like he really works better off the bench. And the thing is he does tend to get injured more. So it's
Mm-hmm.
usually better to like depend on a guy who could, be on the bench instead rather than forcing him to play like, like not forcing, but like 30 minutes on the court, more likely to get injured. I would rather have a guy that is also 7 foot, kind of like again when we had Valanciunas and Pirtle working together. I thought that was great. Like personally, I thought that was like a pretty good rotation of players to have. So when it comes to like getting Cooper Flag, I mean, I would
Be all
very
for it.
much love it. It's just that,
Yeah.
when you have that feeling when you're like watching your team kind of, you know, on purpose do not well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it hurts. It hurts. And the Raptors, the thing is they've been going through such a awkward period prior to the championship, and then it happened again after the championship. I don't want to see them, do worse than that.
And that definitely, I live in Michigan. Sometimes you don't come out of those rebuilds. Sometimes you
No.
don't win the lottery, and then you end up with the pick number 5 again and again and again.
Yep.
Instead of having Victor Wembanyama, we have Asar Thompson, and it just, yeah. So I get
Yeah.
that. Well, then let's talk about what you're expecting in the development from some of these guys. I think we got to start off with Scotty Barnes. Where can he go? What is your, like, maybe what's your expectation, and then what's your expectation like dialed up to 120%? Like, what's best case is, what are we thinking here?
I think Scotty Barnes is going to be a generational talent. I think that there's something within Scotty that makes him such a pure scorer, in my opinion. I'm not like a huge stat head, so I kind of just go based off of what I see. He also has like an ease with working with new players all the time, and he knows how to work with young guys, knows how to work with old guys. It's something where I see him this year specifically with the latest Olympic performance by RJ and just the amazing improvement by Quickly, and a lot of the young guys that we added to our roster. I see him kind of popping off a little bit. I think that he's probably going to be this year one of the top forwards in the league. I think that especially with the addition of Quickly, I think these two guys are going to work great together. I think there's going to be some synergy here where it's like, I don't know, like I just see him doing really well. A lot of the stuff that he has to improve on isn't like too crazy, like, oh, like whatever, defense or whatever. Like, that's fine. I'm sure he could do it. He's young still, right? I like to give these guys their time.
I love the fact that you just said the things that he can improve on defense, because I feel like this is a thing that the people outside of Raptors fandom think that he is Kawhi Leonard and that he is just this insane two-way. And I'm like, guy struggles to get over screens as a guard, or like he's really much more of a 3-4 and let me kind of guard bigger players than let me be this super versatile on defend everyone. So I'm glad that you said that.
Yeah, exactly. Because like the thing is like with a guy his size, yeah, you can expect him to be a little bit slower on some ends. He's quite quick for his size, but at the same time, you still need that like defensive IQ. Like you still need to know how to get around screens. Even when a screen is happening, you need to be ready for what's, going to happen. So that's the thing. I think Scotty is still young, and I think that he's going to come into this season really focused. In the future, I see him being like a really sought after player. I do see him being an all-star. I do see him being a big all-star. There's something about Scotty that I think that the value that a lot of people put onto him is justified. Like watching him play, he's kind of insane. Like he's multi-talented for, what was he, the third pick? He was a third. I don't know. But it's what he's expected to be. Was he third or fourth? Look at us, Raptors fans.
I don't know. hey, I have an excuse. I have been up for way too long.
Oh, geez, I don't know. When it comes to Scotty, man, like I do see him being one of those top guys. Would I say like he's gonna be like greatest of all time? But I do see him being up there with a lot of like huge players, big all-stars, like multiple all-star level guys,
Yeah. All right. So the East has quite a few forwards here. I'm just going to rattle them off, and you tell me when you think this guy is going to be. I'm going to rattle them off, and you tell me when you think Scotty is going to be better than this guy. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Paolo Banchero.
Oh my God, are you trying to bait me into this? I'm gonna get annihilated. Yes, maybe. I don't know for Paulo because he's young too.
He's also developing.
I can't be super sure, and I don't know enough about him yet.
That's the diplomatic answer. That's how you don't
Yeah.
get flamed on Twitter by Magic fans. That's
Yeah, literally. I saw it go down. I saw it.
that's a smart call. All right. Will he be better than Pascal this season?
This season?
This season.
Ah. I plead the fifth. No, I'm kidding. I could see him being close. I don't know. Like with Siakam, he's so new to Indiana. I don't know how well he's going to do with Indiana for like the rest of, like especially this starting season. Because you never know. There's been guys who will like switch to a new team and then for some reason they're not the same anymore. But if we were to go off of like Raptors Siakam, I see him being close to the same.
Okay.
I can't definitively say.
All right. It's good to have that. Yeah, in the past, I've brought on some fans for teams, and I asked them about their guys, and they're like, yes, this guy is going to be LeBron James. This guy is going to be this. So I'd much rather have the realistic, like, I'm not sure he's quite there yet. I believe in him. I've got faith that down the road, but, we don't need to put all that pressure on Scotty right now.
Yeah, I just got to see more. Like, if we were to have these questions midway through the season, I'd probably be very, like, definite on my answer. But there's always going to be a huge difference between last season and this season.
Sure. Sure. Well, similarly to that then, let's talk about some RJ Barrett, because when he came, that's a typo in my show notes. When he came to Toronto, he averaged 22 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, hitting 39% of his threes, which are all basically career highs. There's one season in New York where on low volume, he's hitting 40% of his threes, but basically all career best. A little bit of the Canadian home cooking. Are we anticipating that to continue, or are we expecting a little bit of regression? What are you thinking?
Oh my gosh, you have no idea how much faith I have in RJ Barrett this year. After watching him in the Olympics, this is like he's playing for his country, and then again, he's going to be playing for his country technically here. He adapts so well to new teams. It's actually kind of shocking. Like seeing him work with Team Canada and the kinds of players you have people like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander by your side. You know what I mean? Like someone who tends to dominate scoring wise. And they were able to share the ball perfectly. Now, if you kind of like translate that into the Raptors, you have Scotty Barnes who scores the ball really well. I think that they can do a good job sharing. I see him having a breakout season this year. Not going to lie.
Okay.
I think that this is probably going to be one of the best years in his like early, like he's been in the league for like a good couple of years. I see this being like his breakout year where he is so comfortable where he is. He's comfortable with who he's playing with. Yeah, it's a lot of young guys, but there's also, and I always bring him up quickly, who he's so used to. There's still a sense of like, little brotherhood there that they know how to work together. So with RJ, I actually see him doing really, really well this season. I think it's going to shock a lot of people.
That'd be great because I know he gets so many minutes in New York that in my mind, he kind of gets a little bit tired. He's a little bit worn down. But you're playing, 38, 39 minutes? Tibbs just runs his guys into the ground. And I think I think it does affect some of them, and it affects some of their efficiencies. And so when he got to Toronto and he starts playing a little bit less, but getting to do more in the minutes he's out there, I thought that was really nice, and that opened up some facets of his game. He was able to relax. He's able to shoot a little bit better. I'm with you. I think this is going to be a good RJ Barrett year, and I think it's about time we start having who was really the best player from his draft class. Is it Zion? Is it Ja? Or, hey, RJ's the only one that's played every year. I'm just saying.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Listen, I'm a massive Ja Morant fan. Like a lot of people don't know this. I am a
Mm,
huge Ja Morant fan. And I am going to be so honest when it comes to these three guys. This year specifically, I think this is going to be RJ's year. I really think that him being with Toronto was something that was so smart. That was so
yeah.
good to do.
Well,
Like he
it's a
lives
make or
here.
break year for all of them. It's, Ja, hey, can he
Mhm.
recapture what he once had coming off of the injury and suspension? Zion, can he stay healthy enough to really lead his team somewhere? It's like
Mhm.
we've we've had questions about Zion forever, and RJ's just been consistently plugging along, playing 1,000 minutes a game, under Tibbs, and
Yeah.
so it could be a really good year for that draft class.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh,
All
sorry.
right,
I'm
so
sweating.
you're high on Scotty, you're high on RJ. Hey, Emmanuel quickly is the third guy. I just recorded with Rebound Remy a little bit ago, and that's her guy. She loves him. What do you see? Do you think he can eventually make an All-Star team? How high are you on quickly?
Oh, quickly. Thank you, New York, for quickly. This was one guy that I have been like dying for. Like, I watched quickly a couple of times, and I do like when he was with New York, and I was really impressed with how he did. But the second that he came to Toronto, and suddenly he's like guard of the century, like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
thank you. That's what we needed. When it came to losing Lowry and then having Van Vliet as our starter, there was a couple of like missing situations. And if you know about like the whole like stuff inside the Raptors, there wasn't good like synergy between the guys.
Yeah.
So when it came to losing Van Vliet, I wasn't really that upset. What I was more upset about was the fact that, oh my gosh, we need a point guard that knows how to pass the dang ball and knows how to shoot while he's at it. And quickly, he's the guy. He is, oh my gosh. When he got traded and I watched his first game, I was like, "Oh my gosh, stay with us forever, please." And then he signed that extension and I was like, "Yeah, everything's going so well." He just works so well with young people. He is so good at like leveling out the floor and knowing the situation that everybody's in. His passing, great to me. I don't find a problem with it. His shooting definitely could improve. He's still young. But like everything else, he's pretty solid on. I do see him being an all-star. If not, I don't see it this year. I think it's a little too early, but next year,
Mm-hmm.
whew, I can see something going along there. He is truly like a talent.
Oh yeah. And it's ironic because his name is Quickly, but the guy is super fast. And if you're going to be playing a lineup with RJ Barrett, who is great in the open floor, and Scotty Barnes, who also, I think Scotty's going to play a little bit more four. I think Scotty and RJ are going to be the 3 and 4, and you're going to have
Mm-hmm.
a different person at the 2 as opposed to them being the 2 and the 3. Like that team's going to be built for speed. If Kelly Olynyk is playing more at the 5 and you've got spacing, now you've got a 5-out lineup where Quickly can attack and penetrate and get inside the paint, as well as just push the tempo. Listen, I don't think the Raptors are going to win 35 games. The line at 30 I think is probably close, maybe 33, but I think they're going to be a lot of fun. You know, and like it's a good trio to try to develop with. I think they have a lot of potential together.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a little scary, honestly. It's like kind of like, oh my gosh, is this what Masai was saying when he was like, it's rebuild
Mm-hmm.
time? Like, is this what we're working with? Because I'm happy. I think this is perfect.
Do you remember? Do you remember the Scotty Barnes draft? And specifically, how excited Raptors fans were to get Jalen Suggs. And it was like he's going to be the Kyle Lowry replacement. And then Masai is like, I'm going for Barnes. And there was a little bit of like, what are we doing here, Masai? And he's like, just trust me, I got this. And sure enough, a couple years later, he's got this.
Can I be so honest? The second that we drafted
Yeah.
Scotty, I knew, I was like, oh my God, goodbye, Siakam. You're going. I
Oh
was
yeah.
so, because like that's the thing. I like Scotty. I liked when he got drafted. I was like, oh, that's a good pick. And then I thought to my brain, I was just like, oh my gosh, we're gonna either lose Anunoby or Siakam. And then we lost them both. And I was like, that's crazy. Oh, yeah. Which is fine. I mean, again, the trades were good. The Anunoby trade was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I wasn't too mad at the Scotty draft. I wasn't really that hyped about Suggs. Like, not like I don't think he's good, but I just didn't think that's not what we needed.
Oh man, I fully bought into Suggs' hype and that he could be the next Lowry. He's going to be this defensive, gritty point guard. He was going to set everyone up. Hope Lowry's out. We can kind of rebuild on the fly around him. And when Masai pivoted at the the last hour because all of the mocks had them taking Suggs, I was like, okay, all right, Masai, you have more knowledge than I do.
Yeah.
And looking back now, Suggs is great. Suggs is fine, but like Masai won that. Masai absolutely won
Yeah. As a longtime Raptors fan since like fifth grade, I don't know when I started watching, you got to learn that Masai's going to put you through a lot of heartache, but it works out in the end most of the time.
that.
Just got to have
Absolutely.
your trust.
All right, so we've touched on at least 3 of the starters, and either Pirtle or Olynyk will probably be the 5, maybe Chris Boucher. But what do you think about the shooting guard position? Because we've got a lot of options. We've got Ochai Agbaji, we got Grady Dick, we got Jacoby Walters that we just drafted. Any of these guys really excite you or get you? What do you think?
It's Grady time, baby. I was
Grady.
Listen, and I'm gonna say it, I will admit it. I was kind of a Grady hater the first half of the season. I will be honest. I was very frustrated, but then I thought to myself, I'm like, okay, me, if you were a insane talent in college and then you go to the NBA, do you think that's going to translate exactly the same way over? Most likely not. So when he came to the NBA and I saw him move around on the court, I was like, get this man into the G League for just 2 seconds. Just 2 seconds. I promise you, this will be the best. You will get the best results. And what ended up happening? We put him into the G League for 2 weeks. He came out and he started having career highs. I was like, see, when it's different when you're working with a bunch of 20 to 24-year-olds on one team, and then you got to go and you got to work with not only a massive crowd, a brand new court, and a whole new environment, but you're also working with a range of different people that you've never had to work with before. So me seeing what he did, just developing in the G League and in the second half of the season, I am so confident that Grady, by at least 2 months in, maybe 3 months into the season, I see him being that too. I think that Grady is going to develop into something crazy. His 3-point shot is pretty insane. We got to admit here. You know what I'm saying? He has a talent for that. I just think that when it comes to him, he needs to just build up a little more here, a little more muscle, a little more athleticism. And I think that's pretty much it. He's kind of set.
Yeah. Well, and we saw it a little bit in the summer league when he showed up, which I frankly I love him coming to summer league. There's a lot of guys who second year don't come, and he started games. He didn't need to come, but he shows up and he's an improved playmaker. He's hustling a little bit more on defense than I've seen prior. And I think Grady needed that G League experience just because he came in with a bit of a head for himself. He shows up in the draft in that ruby red outfit. He's talking about how oh yeah, him and Drake are gonna hit the town because he's on Drake's level, and it's one, the cringe of that looking back now.
Yeah.
But then two, just like, my guy, you are not it yet. And I think he's kind of realized he's not it, and the level of work that it takes, and he's put forth that effort. So I'm very big on what Grady Dick can be this year. Hopefully he's not just
Oh,
out there for the jersey swaps with Anthony Black.
I could not believe, I'm so sorry, but this jersey swap baloney, I cannot believe sometimes, because when they do jersey swaps traditionally, it's because like a player is retiring, or it's like they were on the team before or whatever. This dude is taking full-blown advantage of everything right there. And to be honest, respect, but also a little
Very cringe. Very cringe. And come on, where's the Derek White jersey swap?
Yeah, come on now. Come on now.
The Draymond Green jersey swap?
Now that's going to be insane. That's insane.
I don't know if there's anyone with the last name Blue in the league, or what Vander Blue is up to, if he's coaching somewhere, but just come on.
Did he do a
You did it
swap with
once.
Suggs?
I don't think so. Because it was the Orlando game that he swapped with Anthony Black. But I guess they played Orlando multiple times.
Should have done Suggs.
So really, what you should do is, listen, I'm just trying to get a rookie jersey for everyone. So you should have done it with Victor Wembanyama and then kept that and sold it on eBay.
True. Oh my gosh, that would have been so smart.
Well, that's what he said when he did the Black one. He's like, oh no, I wasn't trying to do anything. I was just trying to trade jerseys with my fellow rookies. And you're like, uh-huh. We know what's
Yeah,
going
man. Yeah. TikTok kids, what can you do?
Hey, as long as he's continuing to work, I have no problem with a young man having a good time. Like,
true. I'm just happy that he got over his stage fright, if you could call it that.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to perform up to expectations when you've got the whole crowd there and trying to figure things out.
Especially when you're young, right? Like there's so many people that are expecting like, oh, a top one, like the number one pick is going to be LeBron. Like it's just going to be another LeBron. And it's like, that doesn't tend to happen.
Yeah. I have some friends that do a lot of draft stuff, and they do player comps. Like every one of their player comps is like, poor man's this or like that, but they're all like all-star players that they compare these guys to. And I'm like, no. We got to do these like draft comps. And we're like, Grady Dick is the next Jason Capono. Like, you can't set him up for that much success.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Capono's a beloved Raptor. What did he hit? Like 49% from three that one year?
Maybe. I don't know. I can't think that far. After the championship, my brain fizzles out. Actually, just kidding. After Valanciunas left, my brain fizzles out. I'm like...
Fair. All right. Well, one thing that I've been doing with all of the people I've brought on as guests is asking them how they think their team will fare in their first 10 games. Toronto may have the most brutal schedule I've looked at over the first 10. Your opponents are Cleveland, Philadelphia, Minnesota, Denver, Charlotte, Los Angeles, Sacramento, Denver, Sacramento, LA Clippers. And 6 of the games are on the road. 5 of the games are on the road. How are you feeling about that opening stretch here?
I feel great. What do you mean? Like, I think that we're gonna do amazing. Like, come on. Like, it's just Denver. They just only have like the best player in the league. Like
2 games against Denver. Hey, 2 revenge games for Davion Mitchell. You're the like lone Raptors offseason acquisition. That's not a rookie.
Yeah. The thing is with like those first 10 games, I think it's a good start to kind of get like a fire lit under everyone's butts. And it's definitely going to tire them out. But it's Can I be so honest?
Be so honest.
I'm going to be so honest. I can see us winning a majority of those.
Really?
Is that a mistake to say? Oh, I can't take
I
it
mean,
back
I
now.
was thinking like 2-8, maybe 3-7. A little bit of a rough start, but it's going to rebound later.
I don't know. Like, the thing is with the Raptors is, like, watching them throughout my whole time, there's these situations that happen where sometimes they could do really good against a team that they shouldn't really do that good against, just out of like circumstance. Just I don't know how it happens, really, honestly. Our biggest issue as a team is, and we've had this since the Raptors have ever been invented, is turnovers and such, right? But in the games that we play against these hard teams and then don't do the turnover thing, we actually tend to do really good. I don't see us doing well against teams like Philly or Denver for the sole fact that they have those big guys. I do think the rest of our roster can compete with the smaller people on the court. I do see like the guards going against guards and forwards against forwards. What's going to be like the problem is the center position, because that's especially with Philly and Denver, like their centers are literally their biggest stars. So I can see a lot of games actually like us doing pretty well in, if not winning most of them. I could see us just not losing by a lot. Like kind of like 4 or 5 point kind of things. I have a lot of faith in them, but you know, I'm also not the best with game predictions, as we all know. So
Fair.
I don't know. I like being delusional. I like being hopeful.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, and you got the early game against the Lakers here, and I think actually the 11th game of the schedule is also against the Lakers. And Darko had some harsh words for the refs after the Lakers lost last year. He definitely is going to light a fire. I could see him getting a bit feisty early in the season, and maybe that really helps the guys out. I've loved what I've seen from Darko in that locker room.
I like Darko in the locker room. I love his enthusiasm. I love a lot of things about that guy. There is, however, sometimes where I'm like, man, why did you run that play? And why did you sub this person out? I think that as a young coach and working with a new team, he's not really set on like who's best with what yet. And there's been a lot of frustrating parts when it came to like the Lakers thing. I will be honest, that was not his fault at all. That guy was changing out every plan possible. And it was just really just the free throw situation, was it not? It was just foul calls. Wasn't there like that one game where the Lakers had like 20 something free throws and we had like 8? Like it was a little ridiculous.
I think it was even worse than that, if I remember correctly. And those are my two teams. I love them both. They're like my kids. I hate them when they fight.
Wow, they're so fighting.
But like I think it was like 32-6 in the free throw disparity. And
yeah, it was pretty intense.
To be fair, the Raptors did foul the like fourth quarter and trying to put foul to get the ball back. That was like 12 of the free throws, but still, it was bad. And Darko was very intense afterwards. Which, you know what? I like a coach with a little bit of passion. I'll never forget David Fizdale screaming on the podium. Like, you ain't trying to rook us, or you're not going to rook us, or take that for data. Like Fizdale in Memphis had some moments.
Oh yeah. I think maybe with the Lakers, unless like a ref situation happens, I could see us. I don't know about the Lakers. The Lakers have a lot of opposite stuff, like when it comes to us. Like they have a way bigger roster than we do. In terms of like Davis and LeBron and so on and so forth. I cannot think of any more Lakers at the moment. But like I think that when it comes to it, it's really, really just going to come down to that center position. I think that that's what's gonna be the most difficult is working with teams like Denver and Philly and like whoever else has a star center, maybe Sacramento if it comes to Sabonis. Pirtle does pretty well against Sabonis.
Christian Coloco, he's on the Lakers now. We got a little big man.
You know what? Well, we have Chomchi and Chomchi. I like that name a lot. Sorry. And we have
the second
Chris Boucher.
All set.
Listen, when you have the tall, skinny ones, you have no idea what they're capable of sometimes.
True.
That's just how it is.
True. Sometimes they got skills you don't see coming.
I can't believe you guys got Coloco. That's insane.
I'm so happy about it.
I'm so pissed.
Last year when I did like the Raptors, preseason circuit, I went on Jokic Joestar's podcast, State of the League, and talked to him about Raptors. And he's like, tell me who's a Raptor that people don't know that's gonna have a great season this year. And I was like, Christian Coloco. He's gonna be awesome. And then the blood clots, the
which
orbital
was so
issue.
Scary.
Yeah, and Bosch was in Miami, but I still feel like that hit Raptors fans hard. He was a valued Raptor for a long time.
My first favorite player of all time. You have no idea. See? 2016, I bawled my eyes out when he announced the whole retirement. I was like, no way.
Yeah.
No way.
Blood clots are such a scary thing because like the guy will look in great shape, he can move, but it could just get you one day, and like that's how basketball lost Hank Gathers and so several other guys. Like these super tall people don't always grow proportionally with the internal organs and whatnot.
Yeah, and it's so upsetting. Like, man, I wish we kept Coloco. I had so much faith in that kid. Like, I was like, oh man. But whatever. I guess you can have him. It's fine.
Him and Quickly would have been a nice pick and roll duo. Hit the guy on the line.
All right, let's not get a little crazy here. Let's not get a little crazy.
Could have been the next Mitchell Robinson.
Oh my God.
Great North. All right.
Oh yeah, true.
Next big man.
Yes, I was just remembering. For some reason, I thought of Donovan Mitchell, and I was just like, That's so true. And then I was like, no, wait. I love Mitchell Robinson. He's on the Knicks, and he's tall.
Mm-hmm. All right, Charlie, I got to pin you down. I need a season prediction. How many wins are the Raptors getting? You can do it. I believe in you.
Okay. I have to think. Just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 33.
Reasonable. I feel like that's reasonable. It's slightly higher than the line, but the East has such bad teams in it this year. You got the Pistons, the Nets, the Bulls are trying to rebuild that. I mean, the Raptors will be in play-in contention.
Which I am very happy for. I think these young guys need a playoff play-in experience to push them forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Having the games that matter is really helpful in development.
Yep. And what was it? The Knicks with RJ and Quickly, they never had. Were they ever in the plan?
I think they made the playoffs last 2 years ago now with them, if I'm not mistaken.
Perhaps.
Yes. Quickly has some playoff experience with the 2023 Knicks and 2021 Knicks.
This is good because playoff experience is super good and translates into, like, they understand the environment, especially working with Tibbs. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
They know how to work for a good while.
Oh yeah. Tibbs will train you that way. But well, that's all my Raptors questions. Charlie, any final Raptors takes for you for the year?
We need Valanciunas back. That is the only way that we will win the championship again. I'm not joking. Bring back Valanciunas. Hashtag bring back Valanciunas 2025. That's it.
America is holding him captive in the nation's capital. Got to get him free. I have no idea how that happened or why that happened, but
Washington.
Charlie, thank you so much for coming on. Can you plug your socials? Was there anything that you want the people to find or follow you on?
I am on TikTok at Milkslover, MILXLUVR. I'm also on Twitter at GOV assigned goth. Please don't bully me on any of my socials because I cry very easily. Thank you.
You can find me, Nate_Hoops on TikTok. You can email the whole show, hoopstemple@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you guys. Thanks for listening.